I can't.
Is my banner facing you guys
Yeah, we're
correctly?
good to go. Everybody looks good as far as their banner goes. Hi, YouTube. Anybody is? We have viewers yet, but we're. Ray just looked petrified for a moment.
We're live. Jesus Christ.
Live on YouTube. We do have a couple of YouTubers that join us.
Cool.
On a weekly, we get comments and on a couple of. We're not getting a lot of video views, but we are getting viewers who are paying attention. One viewer told us that we need to set up the live chat, so I'm going to try to control that tonight and see if that'll work. And we'll have the live chat. We got a viewer already. It's not one of you guys, is it?
Not me.
Nope.
Not me.
Hello, YouTuber.
Hello, YouTube person. Who are you?
Hello.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Just not if you can hear me. Is there anyone at home?
Hey, YouTuber, we got our live chat going if you want to say something. If you're logged into YouTube. Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Come on. It's time to wake the kids, call the neighbors, get them up.
My kid's already awake.
Jaws trailer's playing.
Cool. If you're not on Facebook, we got the Jaws trailer playing now. YouTube
Persons. We're talking Jaws.
Person. I posted pictures of my Jaws DVD and Blu-ray collection the other day.
Baron has the best Jaws.
Thank you.
Brian disappeared.
Baron wins. Baron wins with the Jaws stuff.
What do you have?
I have the movie programs and press books to Jaws 2 and 3. So,
Did you put pictures up of them?
Yeah, I put them up. In the
Missed
chat.
that. I haven't been on Facebook. Is it on Facebook?
I think I just posted it in the podcast chat.
Okay, I must have missed that. Let me look at that stuff because that's cool.
Yeah, he did a little bit ago.
Yeah, I was driving when you guys were chatting and trying to tell. Ooh,
Safety first.
Yes, Baron. Are these are original?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they're nice.
Man, I love that 3D one. That 3D one's badass.
Yeah, they're full of a lot of interesting little tidbits of information. I mean, I have the Peter Benchley book, the one from 1991 with a different type of cover, and the one from 1975. Got the LPs, the CD, poster, lobby cards, just a couple things. Nothing major.
Things. Yeah.
Just a few.
But you've never seen Jaws, right?
Hell, I can tell you where the book is different from the movie. I mean, God.
See, this is why it pays to tune into YouTube early.
Yeah.
Because
We should start doing the early thing more often.
the pre-show is funnier.
Got a couple viewers already. Let me check in the chat. Chat with us. Live chat's up. It's active. We want to hear from you. Do you like Jaws?
See, we're just as dopey when we're not on live Facebook as we are when we are.
And I shared it with a couple of my fans overseas too. So
Awesome. I will put Morgan. Can you share the on Twitter the link to the YouTube page? Not the one that I shared. You know that, right?
What?
The link to the YouTube page. Can you or the YouTube video? Can you?
Yeah, not
share that on
I-
Twitter?
not the hang.
Yeah, I did.
Thank you. Man, oh man.
All right, the intro is now starting.
Feeling
Well,
ready to party.
Are we
You're
sharing
live
on Facebook?
I gotta pee.
Let's share on Facebook, guys.
Are we sharing? Where are we?
Sharing is caring, kiddos.
Share now. Boom.
I need a mouse. This thing fucking is loud.
Okay.
Let go, Buddha.
All right, guys, we're going live soon.
Wrong spot. Blah, 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 blah.
All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to a live episode of the Horror Syndicate. We are here tonight with our Jaws episode. We are very excited to talk about Jaws sharks, Roy Scheider, and corrupt mayors who let children go into the ocean and then die. So let's get into it. My name is Brian Enright. You can follow me on Facebook at Brian Enright. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at The Horror Jew. Up next, we have Baron Craze. Baron, good evening.
Greetings all. You know where to stalk me on Twitter. It's Baron_Craze. And of course, also I'm on Facebook. And Baron's Crypt is also found on Facebook. And of course, we will be talking about Jaws and people who wear shitty suit outfits like the mayor with little anchors on them.
Kid, you have that coat.
All right, thank you, Baron. Up next, we have Jared Letourneau. Jared, good evening.
Good evening. Hey, wait. So we're talking about Jaws tonight? I grabbed my David Hasselhoff bobblehead from Sharknado for nothing.
Well, we could talk about Piranha Double D.
Yeah. Sorry about
All right.
that. Anyways, hello everybody out there. Jared here. You guys can follow me on Facebook at Jared Letourneau or on Twitter down there, zombie_survivor. Back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Jared. Up next, we have the one and only female of the cast, Morgan Jewell. Morgan, good
There you go.
evening.
Good evening, and you can follow me on Twitter at Morgan_Jewel_S.
All right, thank you very much, Morgan. Morgan, are you representing tonight's episode? All right, there we go.
Atta girl.
Jaws. There we go. Thank you very much, Morgan. And up next, we have Sci-Fi's one and only Uncle Ray Zilla. Uncle Ray Zilla, good evening.
Hey there, kids. It's your old Uncle Ray Zilla coming to you feeling fresh, clean, and confident from my secret lair located somewhere off exit 18E of the New Jersey Turnpike. If you want to follow me on Facebook, well, there it is. There's the name below, Ray Canella. You can look at my stupid Facebook page. Or you can follow me on Twitter at RayZillaNJ. And back to you, Brian.
All right. Thank you very much, Uncle Ray Zilla. I appreciate it. You can actually find Ray Zilla performing off-Broadway in the musical show called Cabaret. He'll be one of the troupe dancers. So I can't wait to see you there, Ray. And last but not least, we have our president and Fuhrer, oh my God. Ray Ziller. Ray, good evening.
Hey, good evening, everybody. I am an uncle for real, but not Brian. Thanks for joining us tonight on this very special Jaws episode. Big fan of Jaws. You can follow me on Twitter. Why do I always look at my clock when I think about where you can follow me? You can follow me at my clock.
Where the time is.
Twitter at Razor_33. I keep looking at it. Or Rage of Razor is the Facebook page. You can friend me if you want. But all I talk about is Dr. Slice and nachos. So.
And Tic Tacs.
And Tic Tacs. Wintergreen.
Right on.
All right. Thank you very much, Razor. So our episode tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about something that is a classic horror movie. It's not a monster movie. It's not a slasher movie, but it is actually the grandfather of all fish movies. That's right. We're talking about Piranha. So we'll get into that topic a little bit. I'm kidding. We're talking about Jaws. But before we get into that, we have Jared Letourneau and his bloody streaming roulette. Jared, what do we got?
Well, this week I landed on, it looks like a Japanese ghost story. I only landed on it like an hour and a half ago. It's called The Silenced from 2015. A girl is transferred to a mysterious boarding school where she is forced to discover its secrets to survive. And it looks like it's a period piece that's set in the 30s. These kind of movies are usually hit or miss, so I mean, I'm hoping it's a winner, but it's only rated 5.8 on IMDb. So if you guys are curious to see my verdict, check the website out, hopefully this weekend. My BSR didn't come out until this morning, today, from last week, because I was a little sick and under the weather last week. But anywho. The Silenced. Back to you, Brian.
All right. Thank you very much, Jared. I'm definitely going to check out The Silence. I love those Asian extreme movies. Who else here likes the Asian horror movies? That's you, Uncle Rayzilla, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
I like.
So I've been watching Asian cinema since I was a kid, in all forms, ever since I was a little kid. So yeah, love it.
All right, well, thank you very much. And up next, a little bit different than Bloody Streaming Roulette, where Jared finds the most interesting movies on the on the web. We have Baron, who finds the most uninteresting, low-rated movies you could ever possibly imagine, at least to the general public. But I find them extremely interesting, and so does Baron. And I don't know about the rest of you guys, but Baron is here to talk about it. And Baron, how do you describe these movies?
Oh crap! Shit fest extraordinaire. This week it's Dead Walkers: Rise of the Fourth Reich from 2013. And for those who are following along with the DOA column, we are now calling this case number 19. I'm tired of these fucking films. They are Shitberg USA here. Now, the director and the writer of this flop piece of shit is Philip Gardner. This guy has made some documentaries about aliens, UFOs, and he seems to also like to do documentaries on the Third Reich while he's at it. So let's get it straight first. This is a Nazi exploitation film. It is a subgenre in horror. It has gotten more popularity over the years with Dead Snow, Frankenstein's Army, and recently Reichsfuhrer SS from 2015 by film director David B. Stewart, a film I definitely want you to check out, and leave this piece of shit Dead Walkers alone. Because Walkers is basing itself off of, you know it, The Walking Dead. That's right. That's where it takes its name from. We got a character in the fucking film called Alpha One. Oh, he's the spy. Folks, James Bond has got the better gun in every which way you can take that sentence to be. This shithead can't get anything figured out. Hell, the fucking film itself doesn't make any goddamn sense. It's a 1.4 rating out of 10. This film is so fucked up. Let me tell you, it's like watching a music video layered on a music video, layered on a music video, and then someone dropped acid on top of it all. I mean, it doesn't make any goddamn fucking sense. I mean, Ray Zill was over there probably thinking, hey, I should take some shrooms and watch the movie. It wouldn't help you. It wouldn't. Morgan, don't try to get anywhere near this crap either. Just stay away from it. It is completely worthless. The movie has nothing going for it. It's just random images thrown up on the screen and some blood up there, but nothing makes any sense. Plus, the music is total techno music going with a horror film, and it doesn't make any goddamn freaking sense. But hey, who's it from? Hey, it's from Chemical Burn Entertainment. This is lower than Wild Eye Releasing, so that should help you out there a little bit. All right, so you know to avoid this shit mess because it's not good. It's crap. The review's going up sometime this week. I got it over there. It's a real clusterfuck of a movie. Now, what we got chosen for this week? Oh, well, gee, I found a film called The Lock-In from 2014. This is a 1.2 movie. I know, we're going further down the shit road.
Byron, like last week, the week before was like a 1.6. Now you go to a 1.4. Now you're going back to a 1.2. I think what happens, you're regressing. You're regressing.
Well, what happens is that I have a master list of these films, and we try to find them in order, and sometimes we're successful each week, and sometimes we're not. And these, well, we weren't successful before. And somehow people are now sending me these movies because they want them out of their collections and they're giving them to me. So basically, The Locked-In is a Christian horror film. Oh, Christ. Oh, shit. Yeah, it's a Christian horror movie that takes place in a church with found footage images going on in it with a kid having kind of conniption problems. Oh, just smack him in the face with a Bible and send him over to see Reagan over at The Exorcist because I think she can just piss on him and say, fuck me, Jesus, to him, and maybe he'll get his shit together. It all happens at a First Baptist church. It's going to be a real clusterfuck on watching that. Well, if that film does play correctly, we hope. If it doesn't, I get to watch Aliens versus Avatars from 2011, which is a 1.5 fucker. No shit, I'm just screwed no matter what the fuck I'm I'm going to watch this weekend. And I do this all for your benefit, so none of you people out there, all my fiends and friends, don't have to go through this shit, and I can just lose my marbles doing it all. Well, I drink the Southern Comfort, mixing it maybe with a little Jack Daniels, as I feel great all the time with those alcohol beverages. All right, Brian, back to you. Now you know what not to watch ever again.
All right. Thank you very much, Baron.
You're welcome. Let's talk about Jaws. Let's feed these fucking movies to Jaws. He would love them. He'd probably just belch on them all.
Now, we're not talking about Richard Kyle, right? Because I got a little confused.
On which film? What are you talking about here?
Well, he was Jaws in the Bond movies, so we're not talking about him.
No.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
he would like to take a bite out of those shit movies, too. He was still alive.
We're talking about the
yeah.
other two. Okay.
Yeah. No. The Shark would definitely needs to have some of these people to feed on. Guaranteed. Ugh.
Got it.
All right. Hopefully everyone's set now.
I'm awake.
I am so sad. And Jared.
Jared's awake. You're awake now? Everyone awake?
I went to go refill my beer, and all I heard was Reagan, "Fuck me, Jesus, fuck me."
Yes, that's right. There you go. That's that movie. It's a Christian horror film, fuckers. You're going to love it. That's a 1.2.
All right. So our next segment, Morgan is covering women feminism in horror right after the Exorcist talk. So, Morgan, we're going to let you do that segment.
Okay, but we should actually really start that, though.
We should. We absolutely should. I feel like we need a female empowering topic for every night, and I think you should cover it.
Okay, let's go. American Mary. Bam. That's tonight's
Boom.
discussion.
The Soska sisters. So
very, very interesting movie.
it was a good movie. I'm not gonna lie.
I actually haven't seen it yet. I need
Really?
to.
Oh, you missed out.
Soska sisters.
Yeah.
I've seen Dead Hooker in a trunk before.
It's actually very good. If you haven't seen American Mary, you really need to see it.
Is that a movie?
It's really
Because
good.
if not, I have seen one as well.
Well, Dead Hooker in a trunk is the Soska sisters' first film.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was just a theme in Jersey. Sorry. All right, move along.
And I have yet to see that. All right. So up next, we were talking about the main segment. We got Jaws, Steven Spielberg production. It was his first critically acclaimed movie, and it's got so many infamous taglines, and it's got the infamous shark mauling, eating children. I think it was the first time that a lot of children of the 70s got to see their first naked woman in the first 5 minutes of the film. And it's just a movie that has really stood out in the test of time, and it's still feared by a lot of people who go into the ocean. And some theaters, like outside theaters, play Jaws while they have like an open lake viewing where people can sit inside their floats and watch the movie Jaws closer to midnight, I believe. So that's a pretty cool concept. It's a horror icon. It's the movie that started all the monster fish movies. And fun fact about it is that, well, the movie Piranha, which came out a few years later, the sequel was directed by
James Cameron.
That's right. It was directed by James Cameron, but the very first movie, Piranha, they wanted the studio that made Jaws wanted to sue Piranha, but it never happened because Steven Spielberg took such a liking to the movie Piranha. So he's a good sport, making a successful fish movie and then appreciating other fishy movies. So so now we have all these shark movies that are out. Especially Uncle Ray Zilla knows all about the shark movies from his days at Sci-Fi. From like Sharktopus versus Giant Octopus or something like that. Or
it's all becoming one big blur now.
One of them.
Well, there was so many of them.
Circle.
Sharktopus was a Roger Corman movie, actually,
Mm-hmm.
and It was made, and we just bought it finished. We really didn't develop it. So Roger went off and made it on his own, put a price tag on it, and we picked it up.
I've yet to see that. I saw Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus, the infamous scene in the airplane where
Yes.
there's this full of terrible acting, and then the shark is full of terrible CGI, early 2000s CGI, jumps up in the air, grabs the plane, and pulls it down, and it's just hilarious. I think that was Asylum, right?
That's the Asylum. Yeah, those were the Asylum guys before Sharknado. This was, kind of heading in that direction that they were going in, and I was fully encouraging it. So I was no help whatsoever. I said, keep doing it and do more of it, please. And they obliged in their brilliance.
So you were the firestorm instigator.
Dun, dun, dun.
Saturday nights was completely my fault. I don't know what Saturday nights look like now on Sci-Fi Channel, but if the movies that ran on Saturday nights, my job was to buy the movies and also to develop the movies. So I either bought the movie that you watched, or I helped develop the movie and make the movie that you watched. So Saturday nights were pretty much my fault. And well, they let me do it. They gave me an unheard of amount of creative freedom. We were really allowed to do. We were allowed to greenlight anything. If it tickled our fancy and we liked it and we thought that there was something there, we were able to greenlight it. So the creative freedom that we were given at a cable network like that, and we were not development people. There was a whole West Coast team for that, but they gave us an enormous amount of creative freedom. It was crazy, and it was a lot of fun, and we made a lot of stupid movies.
Well, don't worry, because before that time, there was a time where Jaws 3D and Jaws 4 existed, and
That's
then
right.
and so forth. But we're going to get into all that right now. Jaws! Let's talk about it. What was the first time everyone has seen Jaws? What were you doing? And how did it make you feel sleeping at night?
I was 12. I was 12 years old. My mother took me and a bunch of friends to go see it in the theater when it came out. And the theater was packed. There was lines. There was lines to get in. This was still back in the day when movie theaters were a single screen. Before they were, partitioned and cut into, dual screens and triple screens long before the malls and stuff like that. So you had to, buy your ticket and wait online to see the movie. And the place was packed, and people literally screamed their brains out. You could scrape the shit off the walls. It was as visceral. You can feel the whole audience leap at once. It was complete manipulation of the audience. The audience was completely immersed in what was happening, and that's because the movie is a near perfect horror film. And it was an amazing experience, and it left an impact that summer. People stayed off the beaches. They stayed away. They stayed off the beaches. They stayed out of pools. I mean, attendance numbers were literally down, and people said that they're not going into water because they watched that goddamn movie. And this actually happened. And that's the goal of a horror film, and we say it over and over and over and over again on the Horror Syndicate. The goal of a horror film is to leave the audience feeling uncomfortable. That's the goal of a horror movie, and Jaws, achieves this, nearly every time you screen it, every time that you watch it. So, seeing it, back in the day, within the cultural context, was really amazing, and there was no other phenomenon like that at the time. It predates Star Wars. There was nothing like the Jaws phenomenon. T-shirts, hats, mugs. It was really the first time that you saw an event film. This was really the first time that there was that sort of event film type of phenomenon. So it was great. It was a lot of fun. It was fun to watch it, and I have my copy, and I can watch it. I can watch it over and over and over again to this day. But that's what I recall from all that.
I was only 5 or 6 when I first saw it, but I think I saw it when I wasn't supposed to. I actually put like my recollections of first watching Jaws on my profile for the Horror Syndicate, about how it kind of like Ray was saying, it kind of just put this fear in the back of your mind with water in general. Like, I live in a fucking landlocked state, and I didn't want to go in the water. But if I can keep going a little bit just in general of the movie, I think this movie should have won Best Picture that year. I'm not sure what won Best Picture that year. It won a couple of Academy Awards, but Robert Shaw as Quint should have been nominated for an Oscar. His portrayal.
Was it The Godfather?
Oh, yeah, then there would have been no chance.
Might have been The Godfather. I'm not sure. I'm sure maybe somebody out there could tell us.
But it's like his scene in the boat before Jaws first attacks, when he goes into his SS Indianapolis story, like even now it's just like it's so poignant, and
the weight of the ice.
It's just crazy. Yeah, and the doll's eyes. Like, just his character, like, it completely enamored me, because the other Richard Dreyfuss was, you know, kind of the nerdy scientific guy, but he had a good sense of humor, and Roy Scheider had a stick up his ass the whole fucking movie, but they worked as a good team. I loved it. It's probably in my top 5 favorite movies of all time, any genre.
Just to insert, the Academy Award-winning Oscar film for that year was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh, that would have been a hard one to beat, too.
The second best shark movie.
That's true. That's true. Nicholson as the shark was just, you know, he vanished as an actor, I thought. Yeah.
A shocking performance.
Yeah, literally.
But no, you know what I love about Jared has a point, though, because the Roy Scheider character, I love the fact that he doesn't like the water.
Yeah.
You know, he's the sheriff on an island, and he doesn't like the water, and they make that point early in the film. We have this, so that seed is planted in the back of our minds that this is a guy that really doesn't like being out. He's already uncomfortable, and Roy Scheider is so good in the film, and he plays that, you know, uncomfortable atmosphere, that uncomfortable aura that the character has when he approaches the water. It's great stuff.
Yeah, you know, when I first saw Jaws, the first thing that came to my mind was, man, I really hate watching this on TBS. The commercials killed it for me. It was at nighttime, so if you guys remember, Morgan, this is way before your time, but in the early mid '90s, there was this paid for TV advertisement called "We Are 18," and basically what it is, it's a 5-minute infomercial about all these girls running around saying, "Call us today. We are 18." Okay. And that was the 5-minute commercial, and they were like
one of those phone numbers.
Yeah, so they were like sensually like talking to me as a 5-year-old child, telling me that they're 18, and I didn't know what they wanted me to do about it, because hey, you don't know what the sex is when you're a young kid. You just figured, oh great, you're 18.
And it only costs $4.99 a minute.
Yeah, it's like, oh, what are you gonna do? Take me to Chuck E. Cheese? I mean, like you can't be over, can't be under 18 to go to Chuck E. Cheese without an adult. So it was very confusing, and it was very hard to watch, because if you guys don't remember, a lot of these major networks, their commercial airtime was a lot longer than their actual movie airtime. They didn't have TV shows. It was just movies. It was just movies upon movies upon movies. There was no original content, nothing. And it was just these movies and then these infomercials. And, of course, you would have the guy on that swinging treadmill, whatever it's called, the long hair and a really, like, roided face. And you would just, as a 5-year-old kid, I would be like entranced.
Wasn't that like the Gazelle glider or some shit like that?
And he talks really loudly.
Yeah. Shows his muscles.
We used to schedule that shit on Sci-Fi Channel in late night because it paid the bills.
Yeah. Well, watching as a kid, I thought like I had to grow up to be like this guy, this girly man, and obviously that was the case. So let's get back to Jaws, and I'm watching Jaws, and it's got all these fucking commercials. It's got all these fucking commercials, and it's like when you watch a movie like a classic movie with a ton of commercials, you don't know what the fuck's going on because there's so much dialogue in the movie before it becomes the actual movie itself, before you see all the action. So it's like 10 minutes of Roy Scheider be like, I don't like the water. And then the mayor's like, well, we got to open up the lakes or the ocean. And then it's like 10 minutes of that. And then we finally see like the scene where the little boy gets taken in a shark underwater, and it's all fucking edited. So it's like, what the hell am I watching this movie for as a 5-year-old? But I don't give a shit. Why should I watch a movie like that? But anyway, let's fast forward a few years when I'm like, of age.
No, Brian, wait.
What do you want? What do you want?
This is too good. This is too good. No, that's very profound for a 5-year-old, Brian, don't you think? To be in front of the television, being aware of the fact that the movie is being edited and it's not your taste, and
that's why he's trying to get into.
And shouldn't you be watching He-Man or something at that point?
Well, see, He-Man was a generation before my time. I think for me it was Mighty Max, Goosebumps, and it was of course the Simpsons,
Ninja Turtles.
Ninja Turtles. I caught the ass end of the Ninja Turtles. I was born in 1988, and it was Power Rangers. Yeah, that was a huge one. Yeah. Of course, and I was able to watch the X-Files and everything. And X-Files is a great fucking show because I never had any idea what the hell was going on, and neither did the cast.
So, of course, your tastes were then at that point so sophisticated that you could tell that you were watching shit that was being cut on.
But you got to remember, Ray, my very first horror movie that I saw was Monkey Shines unedited, and I know what a good horror movie should look like, and especially since Jaws is like 10 folds better of a movie than Monkey Shine. You assume that it's supposed to be this really good fucking movie. So watching it on TBS kind of ruined my experience as a 5-year-old child. If anything, it made me want to go into the water at that very moment and get eaten by a live shark, because that's how much the editing sucked in the movie, and it just drove me fucking crazy. So let's fast forward into like a more appropriate age when I was watching Jaws. Let's say 4 years later when I was 9, I finally watched Jaws. I see the naked girl in the beginning, and I'm like, oh, why is my wee-wee hard? Because at 9 years old, you don't know why your wee-wee is hard. And you see a naked girl.
Don't?
I don't know. I didn't know. I'm 9 years old, and I got a hard wee watching the girl. And this was unedited. This is an unedited Jaws, Morgan. Can you believe that? I wasn't watching TBS. I was watching a VHS. Yep, that's how far back we're going. You're still not alive at this point. So I'm watching this VHS.
I was 1 when you were 9. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right, well, when you were 1, I was 9 years old with a Woody watching Jaws. And so we're getting into this movie.
God.
Oh, my goodness.
And I see the naked girl, and I'm like, oh, cool, a naked girl. Because I used to run downstairs and turn on the HBO channel at midnight when my mom went to sleep to see all the boobies. And then I didn't understand why I wanted to see these boobies.
Did you watch Red Shoe Diaries?
I didn't watch Red Shoe Diaries. You know what? The Red Shoe Diaries is just like storyline. Look at my nips. Storyline. It was just like, it was very like
Western nips.
Do we really need to get emotionally involved with these fucking characters in Red Shoe Diaries? No, I waited for the good shit to come on, and that's how things were. I think what was never mind. We're going back to Jaws. So here I am watching Jaws, completely unedited on VHS, and I'm like, oh shit, there's actually blood in this movie. That's great. And then I get to the scene where the infamous scene where Roy Scheider is just sitting in the chair, and then it just like the camera just zooms on him and the background zooms out. That infamous shot that apparently Tobe Hooper used in Poltergeist that he supposedly directed. Yeah, fuck that. But so they use that infamous shot, and then everyone's getting killed in the water, and people are getting fucking fucked up by this fucking shark, and they're dying, and you see all these body parts, you see all these people getting rowed in, and everyone's like looking at Roy Scheider, like, what are you gonna do to help? And he's like aiming the gun at the shark and shit, and it's like, holy God. TBS, it took them an hour to get to this point. You know, it only took us like 45 minutes or a half hour to get to this point. And of course, the infamous scene with Robert Shaw, and like everyone in the town hall is all talking like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen. There's a shark. And he just comes in like a badass motherfucker. He's just like, it's in the ice. Or like
a boss.
That whole fucking scene. And I'm like, that's what a man should be. Not that guy in that paid infomercial with the fucking long hair on the fucking treadmill. I'm like, that's that dude who you should be, who you should aspire to be. Fucking Robert Shaw ready to kill this motherfucking shark. So yeah, what became a 9-year-old hard-on watching a naked girl in the beginning of the movie turned into like this epic manliness, emotional hard-on that you should be Robert Shaw.
Emotional hard-on.
That's emotional hard-on. Like, you should be Robert Shaw. You should be all these fucking 3 main characters, because these are all manly man dudes going in this water trying to hunt some fucking flipper, and it just pays off in the end. And that's my whole story with the Jaws series. I'm sorry I went on a rant.
Oh, well put. Well said.
Oh, jeez.
Emotional hard-on.
Preach, brother.
Emotional hard-on.
Speak the truth, brother. Preach.
Because there are movies like that, but there's like, you know, this is like the first movie that it showed like these 3 dudes saying, fuck it, we're going to go on this boat and we're going to kill this motherfucking shark. It's like, no one was like, you know, dancing around like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. I'm going to cry. Boo hoo. No, these dudes got on the boat. They waited out there. They had a good time. They drank a couple nights. And then as soon as that shark jumped up and grabbed Robert Shaw, they're like, oh shit, this goes down now. We got to fix this shit right fucking now. And they did. And then I don't know what happened in the sequels. I didn't watch them.
What?
Go ahead. Nope, I'd never seen the Jaws sequel.
What?
Two kind of.
Did you see 2?
2 feels like the first movie, like just extended. It's really, I think it's good.
I'm tired and I want to go to bed.
Number 2 is basically a retelling of the first one, but it's okay. You know, and then 3 and 4 are just preposterous.
Hey,
Jaws 3 is not that bad.
Hey.
Are you calling Michael Caine and Mario Van Peebles preposterous?
Well, you know what though? They're watchable. They're completely watchable. They're completely watchable movies. Number 3 and number 4, but
watchable.
They're silly.
Well,
they're silly, but they're fun.
For the shark follows the mom to a place where sharks aren't supposed to be, right?
What?
I don't know about that.
The shark supposedly follows her from Amity to down in the Bahamas.
Yeah. Where they, I think they say that sharks aren't in those waters.
Great whites aren't.
Yeah, great whites. There you go.
So, wait.
It's a ridiculous movie because it makes it seem, and plus the mom has visions now.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's not great. That's the first one I saw. You want to know my Jaws experience? It was that, and I thought it was awesome at 7. And then a few years later, I saw Jaws 3D, and I was like, that's awesome. And a few years later, I saw them in reverse order, and I saw Jaws.
Really backed into the franchise.
Wait, so by the time the 4th movie rolls along, everyone has like this telekinetic, like foreshadowing, a fucking vision, and they hunt each other. Like Jaws has babies, and the babies hunt him.
The shark is pissed off. Yeah. And so Mrs. Brody, she's a widow now.
There's no
Mrs. Brody decides that she's going to take a trip down to the Bahamas, and the shark follows her from Amity down to the Bahamas because the shark's got nothing better to do.
The shark killed Sean at the beginning of the movie.
Yes, the shark killed Sean, and so he's after her now, and that is the fucking plot of the movie. And and it's just, you know, but again, you can't take your eyes off of it. There are portions of the movie, there's the underwater footage of the mechanical shark where you can literally see the armature that that the shark is attached to, that helps it to propel the fake shark through the water. You can, I mean, they just basically gave up on this one. I think Michael Caine had won an Oscar the previous year. I think it was for Hannah and Her Sisters. So he was a recent Oscar winner, and here he is. Was the revenge, and you know, again, it's a marvel to behold, but it's a dopey movie.
So that is crazy. That is crazy.
Am
that
I wrong,
shark...
gentlemen? Because I know there
That's
were
not
other members
crazy.
of the Syndicate who do enjoy this movie. So
It
please,
is a ridiculous plot, but it is still an enjoyable film if you like the Jaws series.
So Jaws' babies want revenge.
Yeah, and they don't even just like explain, like, she just has this intuition that this shark is following her. For all we know, it could be a completely different fucking shark.
It is a different shark because Bruce is the shark in the first one, and the shark dies. The head explodes, right? Brody.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a different shark from the shark that killed Sean and Amity.
Oh yeah, CJ. I guess they really make it seem like it's the same shark.
Yeah.
well, but they keep killing Jason.
Not
Jaws keeps coming back.
Yeah, but Jason was once human. Like, I mean, sharks. You know, I'm not calling sharks stupid. I'm really not. You know what? I'm not saying anything about the ocean life, about how intelligent or whatnot. You know, but
You just don't want to insult the
I don't want to insult.
We don't want to insult those guys. This is a very PC episode.
Fuck the crustaceans.
Sharks.
You could talk shit about the crustaceans, just not the not the fish, huh?
That's right. That's right. The fish may be watching or listening with their fucking sonar, whatever they have.
Aquaman.
Fucking. Well, in the fourth movie they get revenge, so I don't fucking know anymore. Go ahead, Morgan.
I was just gonna say all this talk about fish and revenge and listening to the show reminded me of that Simpsons episode where the dolphins come up and like kill the people.
They take over the world.
What?
They take over the world, the dolphins, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like Lisa has this theory to help them or something. I've not seen many episodes of the Simpsons, but I've seen that one.
Yep.
By the way, I want to throw this out there on our YouTube live chats up. If anybody wants to say anything, like we got a couple things. Somebody's written in Red Dreams says we are the best show live on YouTube. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Then Amy Meow.
Who paid that guy?
The
I don't
check's
know.
cleared.
Asked when
Amy
did
Meow.
first see draws.
What happened?
Says what?
What
Did they say?
They asked when did Baron first see Jaws.
Oh, great. Who else is talking to me now too? I don't really know when I saw the film. I really don't. I don't remember. I've seen the film. I've read the book. I've seen the film again. I've seen the series. I mean, I'll put it simply. I mean, I probably own just about everything on the film: press books, posters, LPs. I mean, I got everything on Jaws. But if we want to talk about this film for a little bit here, let's do that really properly. All right. First of all, there's a couple of differences between the book and the movie. Namely, Hooper in the book is considered an elitist, doesn't like anybody else's opinion. Brody's considered a nitwit. The town mayor is connected to the mafia, hence that's the reason why the town needs to be opened up all the time. People are actually killed in the book than the actual movie. And then, of course, you just have why the town's got all the kind of problems it has because all the money's connected with the mob, you understand? So somehow the book Jaws is really about mobsters and a shark. And they're all at this poor little town going, I need to get paid in some way. The shark ones get paid in food, and the mafia ones get paid in money. So there's your book, basically. It's a really weird book. Oh, by the way, in the book, every time the guys go out in the orca to hunt the shark, every night they go home. And then they get back on the boat, and they go back to hunting the shark the next day. Yes, Morgan, that's actually how it goes. It's incredible, the book. It's really bestseller. Okay.
That's the Peter Benchley novel, right?
Yes, yes. Now, let's understand a couple of things here. In the course of the entire series, if you would, the Brody lifespan and changes in the sons doesn't make a bit of sense. It really doesn't. I mean, first, okay, they're kind of, relative to the right age. By the second movie, you got one that's, okay, 18. The other one's about 12 or something. By part 3, one seems to be working at SeaWorld, and the other one is somehow in college. By part 4, the guy leaves SeaWorld and is not a freaking marine biologist down in the Bahamas. and the other one is the deputy cop who, basically, spoiler alert, gets killed. While the town is singing a Christmas carol on shore. It's a real fun thing, this is what happens all the time. By the way, just a note in the part 4 how it starts off, the shark decides, I know how to get the son to come out to the water. It's real easy. He hits a piling, one of those little things you tie your boat up to, and he somehow pushes it into the traffic flow position for the ship to have to be, you have to remove this. This is an intelligent shark. I mean, he understands the shipping lanes. He's got the boats figured out. He knows where to position this thing. And then he hangs around waiting. I know.
That's why you don't make fun of the fish.
This is the whole thing. So this particular shark has got I don't know, mental capabilities that are through the wazoo. He probably should be starring on Sharknado, but hey, there you go. Now, the problem I have, is really simple. You got Chief Brody. One, yes, he doesn't like an island, so he goes to one. And he's there for about 6 months. It's a small town. He never has met the coroner. He meets the coroner while going from one side of the island to the other side of the island, taking a ferry. What does he need to take the ferry for? Why doesn't he just drive? It's an island. All of a sudden, he's got to use his damn ferry to get across, which doesn't make a lot of sense why this thing is there, but all right, it's there. And Hooper, he's a real ass. You really have to admit, this guy drops everything that's given to him in life. I mean, he drops a tooth. He drops a spear gun later on. The guy is clumsy as shit. Yeah, this is the guy you want to bank on being really good. He just drops shit all over the place. No big deal.
And then he shows up at the end. La-di-da-di-da-di-da. He didn't do shit.
Yeah, right. Like, what about Bob?
Hey, yeah. And, of course, Quint's character is classic. It is really great. The entire thing of him being on that backstory of the ship that basically, delivers the bomb, and his ship goes down, and the reason why he doesn't wear a life jacket because of the sharks. Really great backstory. I also like to consider him Houdini, because when we go to the town hall meeting, he's not there if you scan that picture. And that shark
sitting there.
And magically, the shark appears on the board also with him drawing, later eating something with the hand that had to have the chalk input. So, obviously, Quentin likes chalk. Now,
eating a cracker.
That was a cracker.
In part 1, we do learn that communications does not exist. Suddenly, all these people show up on 4th of July weekend to go to the island where the shark attack happens. We do get to see the mother for the Kittner boy coming out and all upset. Where the hell is the parents and the family of the girl who got killed first? Where the hell is her family? Don't know. Don't care. No big deal. In part 2, we learned that the shark can need a helicopter, so we already starting to get, oh God, this kind of movie. So we learned the shark can need part of a helicopter.
Cool, though.
Yes, it's interesting. It's fun. It's enjoyable. Now, part 3, we got shitty special effects. We really do. Yeah. I mean, let's face it. If you guys watch this film, the sub that goes around underneath will actually disappear in portions of it on screen. It literally does. And when it turns in things, it starts vanishing. Then you've got when the shark kind of bursts into the underground chamber, if you would. It bursts through the glass and stops. I'm sorry to tell you this. Sharks don't stop. They just keep on going. Why does the fucking shark stop? I don't understand this. And the last part, part 4, big spoiler alert here, folks. This is where the thing just goes off course by a tremendous amount. First of all, we got Jaws hunting this family. What? there's a town hall meeting of the sharks underwater going, hey, what happened to Bruce in the first film? I don't know, but we lost somebody else on another one. And Jared's over there going, that's how we all felt when the shark just decided, I'll eat people on the way. We only see him eating one family. And he doesn't kill that many people in the movie, except on the banana boat, where all the people on the shore just stand there and go, oh, boy, you got blown up and then you bit somebody. That's terrific. Now, of course, Jaws has a roar in the movie. Let's talk about the roar. It's a great one. Ray Zilla's over there. The roar? What roar? Wait a minute. Oh, yes. Now, it's not from Godzilla, folks. No. It's not even from the movie Duel. A lot of people thought that. The sound actually comes from Tom and Jerry cartoon. It's where it comes from. That's exactly where it came from. There was multiple endings made of this movie because some people consider it too violent. And somehow the shark at the end of this movie blows up because we have interlaced scenes of Brody's character shooting while the wife is trying to run it down with a boat. Okay, yeah, this makes a lot of goddamn sense. Now, just to let everybody know, for those who are curious, who go on those Universal tours, the Orca boat has long since gone from the tour. Yeah. It was sinking, and when Spielberg found out that Universal just decided to sink the damn thing and tear it all up for pieces, he wasn't really happy. And the second Orca boat that was available has since been torn down and was actually used on some of the special editions and was packaged in those special editions and given out. So, I liked the first film. Yes, it was a great film. It did bring fear. Part 2 had some, elements there, except for the, I forget the girl's name when she's on the boat with her boyfriend who gets eaten by the shark. That bitch.
She doesn't do a damn thing.
Yeah. Swim, Eddie, swim. You're on the boat. Can't you help out just a little bit?
Yeah,
then he comes up to the boat. Does she help? No. I bring this up for a significant reason. For those fans out there who like to collect the LP artwork and the LPs themselves, if you have the Jaws 2 LP, if you look at the picture on the front, you see her reaching with her hand to help her boyfriend. So even the artist knew, hey, you should help. But in the movie, she doesn't help at all. She just sits there saying, please go away. Please go away. Sure, no problem. He already ate. He's already had a meal.
Well, you know what happens when you insult the fish, though, right? You can't insult the fish. They know. They know things.
Yes, they know that your pee-pee got hard and you're coming to chop it off because that's your problem over there.
The fish are going to eat my pee-pee.
Because you've been a bad boy. They're going to come.
Between the shark and piranha, they're coming for you. Guaranteed. I mean, it happened in the Piranha remake movie, so shit. There you go.
Dude, you had bouncing boobs in 3D in the Piranha remake. I don't see that in the Jaws remake.
Do you think there'll be a Jaws remake? I mean, an actual certified one?
I mean, we might as well since we're remaking everything under the sun.
Yes, so eventually, folks, we're going to have Jaws out for a stroll along the beach looking for a nice umbrella to sit under and go, okay, where's my meals? I need to have something here. And that'll probably be a big CGI film, by the way, so let's face it.
You just can't insult the fish, that's all. If you insult the fish, they're going to know.
Now, there is one other little aspect to Jaws. The reason Jaws is over budget and everything else, there's a neat part here. The film's over budget, it's overdue. At the time, Universal is going through a major change-up in management. And this film actually gets lost in the cracks of production schedule. So
I thought you were going somewhere else with that, Baron. Lost in the cracks, but okay. You pulled it back.
Yes.
All right.
I know. I could have gone somewhere, but
he reeled it in.
Yes. And basically, this film is lost for a little while in production, and they're pulling the money out of the bank account faster than anything else, putting it somewhere else, and finishing the damn movie because no one knows really what the hell's going on with this production because there's a big change-up of management happening, and everyone only cares about their jobs and not this little production over here. So that's one of those little tidbits for you all to chomp on over in the chum-filled waters out there.
Plus, the shark didn't work most of the time. The shooting
no,
schedule,
variations of the shark.
the shooting schedule that Spielberg had arranged and had set up, the shark was
part of the reason
constantly
they went over
breaking
budget.
down.
Well,
And
the other thing was that's why they decided, and Spielberg very smartly did this one, make the shark from point of view under the water, and that really kind of helped a lot. The soundtrack is incredible from John Williams, except though it does borrow a little bit from Igor Stravinsky's Rites of Spring in the early portion. There's a couple, if you listen to both pieces of music, you will see he's lifted a little off of that. Not a much, very much, but he does lift from it. So one of those things.
But they didn't have, they didn't have the footage of the shark that they really wanted. And what John Williams does is he puts the shark in the film without seeing it. It's brilliant.
Well, yeah, when you realize that you have a major problem with the shark, you got to figure out another way of doing it. So yeah, they use different tanks in different places to do some of the film work. Since they couldn't keep sinking the ship, the boat, and bring it back up, they made a fiberglass copy known as Orca 2. So a lot of the work is done in a lot of different ways, and Quint doesn't die the way he dies in the film as in the book. It's a completely different, messed up way. So there you go.
I see. See, here's the thing. They could have just ignored the whole mechanical shark thing, because mechanical sharks malfunction. They should have grew a pair of balls and did what Lucio Fulci did with Zombie, is get an actual live shark and keep feeding it until it's vomiting, and make it go after the little boy, make it go after everyone on the boats, and actually eat Robert Shaw. That's what they should have done, but they didn't go that route because.
Well, great whites are a little bit more of a pure killing machine.
One day, Brian, they'll let you produce. One day.
One day.
And then Brian, you could test out your theories, and we'll put you in the water first with the shark.
That sounds great. I'm just going to keep feeding it fish until it throws up, because I've never seen a shark throw up.
Okay.
But yeah, so wait, why don't you talk about Robert Shaw's death in the book, or his character? What happens to him?
Him in the book, it basically happens a little similar to them both Brody's character and Quint's are both trying to struggle to stay on a sinking vessel, and basically one gets shoved off, if you would. One's more or less fed a different way. But it's the book has a lot of problems in it to what the end result is. So there's a lot of portions in the book that obviously are not mirroring up, and we do learn a lot about the town and how things are functioning inside the town. But the book has so much layering with the mafia; it's unbelievable. And the mayor, he gets a smoking. Or this is what now, Morgan. Going way back here, you used to be able to smoke in hospitals. You could actually do it. It was completely fine.
Yeah.
You had a problem with it.
Yeah, the doctors smoke.
Smokers' rights. Trampled again, damn it.
We're going to have to cut that leg off, Steve.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, and nowadays you can't even vape in a church. Believe me, I tried. They kicked me out not only because I was trying to vape in a church, but also because I'm a Jew. Anti-Semitic.
Oh my God.
Oh, completely. I understand that.
Please
Just don't
send
touch
your
the holy
thoughts and
water,
letters
folks.
to Brian and
No?
Ray.
Don't touch the holy water at the churches. Let's face it, it's beyond contaminated.
Speaking about,
I know that. Look, I know from going to a couple of churches, believe it or not the black mass ones. There's others. My skin just starts burning when I walk into one of these buildings, so I stay out of them. It's just safe. I don't need to have a problem there.
You too, huh?
How did they know you were?
I thought it was just me.
You're wearing a yarmulke.
Yeah, because I walk around with the yarmulke on my head everywhere I go.
Oh,
That's how I do things. Speaking about things that are salty. Saltwater crocodile the saltwater crocodile was caught in Wildwood. That's right. It was on the shores, the very shallow end of the beaches at Wildwood. A saltwater crocodile. I know it's not a shark, but it was there. It's kind of struck close to home. It didn't have enough tokens to ride all 3 piers at Morty's, So
His name was
Oh,
Carmine.
yeah, well,
Just to throw it out there, and I know
his name is Robert Forster.
He's a fan favorite.
So anyway, and
He
while
was like, my DVDs are out of print. That's what he was saying.
well, as the beach is growing there very large, the people are going out swimming now, and then you're getting a little bit closer to the deeper edge of the water, where the sharks seem to be swimming a little bit more closer to the shoreline. Since the beach is getting big down Wildwood, so there's been a lot more shark reports chasing people out of the water. So the lifeguard towers have gotten a little bit taller, and they are going, oh, more sharks, because they got all those fishing vessels out there going, oh, look, sharks. They're saying, hey, it's lunchtime, dinner time, snack time, brunch, and they like to chomp on some pieces out there going, hey,
Exactly.
I need food.
Well, whatever you do, just walk out of the ocean, ignore the sharks, because if you insult the fish, they're going to know.
You sure, Brian?
Yes. Every time.
Every time?
Because
They
Brian,
know.
Brian, tell us how you know this. Do the fish speak to you, Brian? Tell us.
He's Aquaman,
the
really.
The fish
he
just
knows
know,
because
believe
of
me.
the Simpsons episode.
The fish. Well, they're
Because of
The only one not
Simpsons
getting
episode.
dolphins
They're
are actually
more-
mammals. Can we talk about how
Okay,
we
but
screwed that
they
up?
live in the. But no one said they were fish, but they live in the water. We're talking.
But how do
about
we
sea
screw that up though? Like, I get it, like we're mammals, but then like, some genius was just like, oh look, here's a dolphin. They swim in the water. That's a mammal. Like,
It looks
and we
like a
just
shark,
kind of
but
like
it's
carried
not.
on with it. No, I know
Jared
there's,
is just
I know
listening
there's a
to all
scientific
this.
reason why they're mammals and what. True fact: dolphins are the only other species that take pleasure out of sex. In case
And how do we know that?
Because when I was
When he was a
when
little.
I was an 18-year-old boy, I used to be a dolphin handler.
Fanatic.
Yeah,
A
I used to be a
voyeur.
dolphin handler.
Handler
Yeah.
or voyeur?
Oh my god.
Wow.
More like a dolphin molester, I believe.
Yeah, I was a dolphin
Handler being another word for molester, right?
Amen.
God.
Well, since we're talking about it,
Please send your cards and letters to
my
Brian.
nickname was Jaws to the Dolphins.
To the
Yes.
dolphins. The dolphins called
Was
you
that-
Jaws.
That was my nickname.
We got it
Was
now. Okay.
Jaws. I was a dolphin molester named Jaws.
So monkeys and sharks, Brian.
And piranha.
If you were still with the Sci-Fi Channel,
I
oh my
would-
God,
I would make
pitch
monkey
those
shark.
amazing ideas to you.
I would make monkey shark. I mean, how do you the great white monkey shark? How do you not make?
Now that's racist.
A monkey shark is. Oh, we went over the line there, huh?
You said white.
The great this great white. They're not great white monkey
Great
sharks.
tiger shark.
I want to live. God damn it! I want to live in a world where I could see a movie called The Great White Monkey Shark. So please, if
You
any of the
can't say
if-
great white on a horror show. It doesn't.
if any of the fellas from the asylum remember me,
I just thought you were going to say anybody from an asylum, period.
you can have that.
My doctors?
So.
Patient number 14756.
Yes.
Can you
What? Oh, sorry.
imagine Mega Shark versus Harambe? I mean, we're done. I mean, that would be it for the both monkey horror movies and shark horror movies, because we know that we've seen our fair share of shark horror movies from Asylum and the Sci-Fi Channel.
So can gorillas hold their breath for a long time? Would that
I
be
think they're shitty
feasible?
swimmers. I think they're bad swimmers. I think they drown.
I don't know.
That might not be a good idea.
Congo against Godzilla at least once, so
Can you imagine like a gorilla getting in the water to fight the sister band swimmer? They get in the water. That's just,
So, kids at home, if you're just now tuning in, we're talking about the Jaws franchise.
That's right. But somehow, we're also talking about monkeys. So
like neck deep in water.
Oh my god.
Folks, we've all gone bananas now. It's official.
Oh,
And so it's Jaws. You know,
Don't
kids.
smoke the purple leaf.
I
That's
guess,
right.
I should probably talk about the first time I saw Jaws.
Thank Christ. Go
last
ahead.
week.
Morgan was a 9-year-old boy.
Even sooner.
Oh!
I was a 9-year-old boy.
Oh God, Brian.
Watching, we are
Psychological problems. I'm
Infomercials.
coming over to help you.
Fantasizing about Robert Shaw.
Oh, come on.
So I got Jaws and Jaws the Revenge from my work because we clearanced them down because we had a lot of copies. So I got them a while ago because, I knew I needed to watch them for the podcast.
Cool.
But, I've been very, very busy and I did not get to watch Jaws the Revenge at all. But I did watch Jaws last night / today because I, again, had a very busy day and it was really late when I started the movie and I really liked it, but then I was falling asleep, so I had to stop it and finish it today.
So that was the first time you've seen it?
Yep. And explaining
See,
why
was
I
gonna
have a
guess
Jaws shirt.
Literally 3 hours ago.
Yep, basically. But I already had the shirt because my dad is a football coach.
I think we lost Morgan.
I already like your
Morgan,
dad.
what did you think of the movie?
And
Wow.
Oh, she's breaking
Morgan,
up.
Breaking
Your
up.
mic is-
I think we lost
No,
Morgan.
we
Looks like
lost
she's
you.
praying.
We lost you after football coach.
I
Definitely
like
looks
your
she's
dad, though. He's a
praying.
football coach. That's cool.
Yes. Morgan, if you ever get back to us, wait, you're coming in. You're coming in. You're doing a great job.
You're coming into the shallows now. Denton. Shark's there.
I do not like the picture it froze her face on, though. She's like,
It's a very strange picture,
Candygram.
folks. It means a lot of things right now.
Candygram.
Oh,
Okay, we lost her.
we
Yes,
just
Jehovah's
lost one.
Witness.
she's coming back.
Just like Jaws.
I don't know if Razor can hear us or not, but he hasn't waited on the first time he's seen Jaws.
Wait, Morgan's trying.
So-
Morgan,
Oh,
are you back?
Morgan,
Hello.
is Morgan back with us?
hello.
Yes, Morgan's back. I want to hear what Morgan thinks
Yay.
of Jaws.
Candygram.
Jeez. My computer never messes up until I start to talk. But anyway,
Well, it's consistent.
what all did you hear?
The last thing you said was that your father was a football coach.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was explaining why I had this Jaws T-shirt for years, even though I never saw the movie until finished watching the movie until a couple of hours ago. But because his football team was the Sharks for years, so that's why I had a Jaws shirt.
Ah. So that was the first time you saw it.
Hashtag
Yep.
fun fact.
And what did you think?
I thought it was good and very scary. Yes, it's I liked the first half better than, probably because that was the half that I watched last night, and then the second half I watched today, I don't know. I wasn't as engaged in it. Watch it again. Other movies.
It's definitely more suspenseful when you don't see the shark. So I mean, you do have a point. You do have a point to that a little bit. It's much more suspenseful at that very first kill, and then the kill over in the pond where the guy gets his leg cut off. Like you don't really see much.
Yeah, and because there's more people like around and in danger than like in the second half. It's just them looking for the shark. There's only people that are in danger.
She's got her tea. She's got her dog. She's ready to go.
Yep. So anyway.
Well,
that's
yeah.
about all I got.
So do you like going to the beach? You're gonna go to the beach? Are you gonna hear the music now? As you know, or are you near the coast at all or no?
Texas is a big state. I don't know if
no.
Oregon has beaches near her.
Yeah, you're not
No,
near.
I have lakes
You're
near
deep
me.
in the heart.
I am in Dallas, so I'm
You're in the hot.
way up
In the
away
hot.
from the water, where sharks would be.
Well, it's not tornado.
Unless they're flapping on dry land.
I have a shark in my house.
I wanna add something fun in
In a
here.
jar. A shark.
Somebody in our YouTube live chat said David Letterman asked Michael Caine why he did Jaws 4. Caine replied, "The paycheck was bigger than the bloody shark."
Well, you know, Lorraine Gary was the wife of the studio head, Sid Sheinberg. So she managed to survive and be in all 4 films. Which
No.
well, no, was she in number 3 now? I forget, guys. Help me out. Does she appear in number 3
I
at
can't
all?
help you.
She did not make an appearance in number 3.
Nope, she wasn't.
No, so she was in the first 2 and in the last one.
Correct.
Was there a Jaws 5?
Fuck no.
No. That's just when they started making all the other shark movies that weren't Jaws.
Well, you know, and there are some movies to talk about. I mean, I'm sure that members of the Syndicate recall the film Orca with Richard Harris and Bo Derek.
Yep, killer whale.
Bo Derek gets a leg bitten off in the film.
It's a very similar film, but it's equally terrifying too. And it's kind of a B on the side of a B movie, but I enjoyed it very, very much.
Yeah, I think it was a hit when it came out, actually. But it was, I think, really the first kind of Jaws ripoff kind of movie. What about you, Brian? You ever see Orca? You ever see that movie?
You know what? I absolutely admired Orca. It's not just for the fact that I had never seen the movie, but for the fact that Bo Derek gets her legs ripped off in the very beginning of the
He
movie.
already likes it.
No, I don't think it's in the beginning of the movie. She gets her leg is in a. She has a broken leg. Her character has a broken leg in the film, and it's.
They're saying she's no longer 10.
I think this was before 10, and her leg is in a cast, and the shark, the orca, the whale, literally bites the cast, and the leg just snaps the whole thing off.
Well, actually, Rayzilla there. She lives in one of those kind of stilt houses by the bay, I guess you could
right.
And the orca kind of rams into that and tumbles it all down.
The house to sink.
In relation to them hunting, if you would, the orcas, which kind of mate for life, and is basically on the lines that his mate lost the baby also, which is a really graphic scene.
It is.
In the beginning of the movie, yeah.
Yep.
It's a cool movie to see. Myself, I have the original poster for it, so another thing I collected. And it's a very good movie. By the way, just to follow up on Brian's question there, technically speaking, there is a Jaws Part 5. It came from the Italian cinema. It's actually known as Jaws, and this came out in 1995.
Umberto Lenzi?
Huh?
Was it Umberto Lenzi?
No, Bruno
Mattei. Bruno Mattei. Yep. I own that movie.
Right, and it basically lifts a lot of footage from Jaws and even Jaws 2. It takes a lot of different movies and kind of just pushes them all together. But yes, this is known as Cruel Jaws, and it's also known as Jaws 5. So they were trying to cash in like a lot of the other Italian films have done with like Zombie or
Bruno Mattei also did Zombie 3, Brian.
What was the Zombie 3 was Zombie 3 was a fine movie. Okay, it was a movie, and it was somewhat enjoyable. I will go back and say that but there was a movie that completely ripped off Jaws. It was in the 80s. It was by an Italian director.
The Last Shark.
It was with Vic Morrow. Was that who was in it?
Yeah. The Last Shark, I believe it was.
Vic Morrow, that's right.
Yeah, I'd have to see that movie because I've heard only terrible things about that movie, but it looks really, really fun to watch. The Italians, God bless them, they came in and they spaghettied all the horror movies and all of everything else and made them into their own natural disasters, and they grew such a cool following.
The artwork for the Last Shark is interesting enough. It's kind of cool, if you would. It's one of those harder pieces to find in the for collectors, like most Italian covers for posters. But yeah, that movie got sued. Everybody involved in it. There was even some people who just used alias names for it at first, just to try to hide that they were involved in that picture.
Yeah, and the same thing happened with in between Alien and Aliens, there was an Italian movie called Alien 2, and it had nothing to do with xenomorphs or anything, and they got sued too. You know, let the Italians do it.
Have you guys ever seen the Shark Attack movies from New Image? They were out in the 90s. They had really bad visual effects. That basically, maybe you've seen the clips on YouTube. One of the worst shark movies ever made. The guy on the jet ski drives right into the mouth of the shark.
Yes, that's the movie.
The Shark Attack 2. I used to do business with those fellas at New Image, and bought those movies and put them on Sci-Fi back in the day. But those are pretty corny movies. The people in the life raft, they would use actual stock footage of great white sharks, and then, like, you know, green screen, you know, some Israeli actor, you know, on a jet ski, and, you know, just green screen them right into the mouth of the shark. It's really, really hysterical stuff. I recommend you look up the clips on YouTube if you want a real chuckle. Long before CGI became mainstream, these guys were doing it the old-fashioned way, and the results are pretty hilarious.
Well,
now the first one's with Casper Van Dien, right?
What's that?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Baron.
Yeah, I was going to say, now, a film that kind of borrows off of that was Shark Night 3D, where you had somebody on a jet ski trying to, I don't know, go get help, if you would. And the shark, I don't know, somehow is amazingly up to speed and just knows when to jump out of the water to take somebody off the jet ski. I thought, wow, talk about crap. So that is a crap movie. Again, Morgan, don't watch Shark Night 3D. You don't have to. Eventually, it'll be on the DOA list, but right now it's only got it's a 4 out of 10, folks. It's considered one of those real classic movies. Oh God.
Yeah, but Shark Attack, the first one was with Casper Van Dien. I have seen these movies, and then the second one was just all these unknowns. But you're right. There was a scene where the guy's laughing and smiling maniacally, and then he turns on the jet ski, and he turns and he's like, ah, and he goes, and then there's people in the life raft, and they get eaten by a shark. Now, there's also, we talked about this before, there's a very famous scene where the main characters are hitting on each other. It's nighttime, and they're at the dock.
Oh, yeah.
And I kid you not, the guy says to the girl, why don't you let me take you home and eat your pussy? That is the exact fucking line he used in the movie.
Yeah.
And she giggles like sensually, and then the next scene right after that, they're mounting each other, and it's just, you know, what line works like that? I've never heard anyone say that and get away with that. I don't know. Maybe
those are the guys, Brian. You know, remember Canon Films?
Yes.
Okay, these were the guys that were the second generation, the guys that learned under the people like Canon Films. They formed New Image. If you look at if you watch the documentary about Canon, you'll see that there's a few fellas that are interviewed, and those guys formed New Image, and they kind of picked up where Canon left off. Same formula, bunch of wild Israeli guys making you know, action films, low budget horror films. They made a ton of movies for the Sci-Fi Channel. I did a shark movie with them called Hammerhead, with Jeffrey Combs and William Forsythe. You guys ever see that? That's a movie I had a big part in.
No.
You've never seen Hammerhead?
I think I have, probably. Seen them
It's
all.
like basically a land shark. It's a half man, half shark running around.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. I that was done by New Image, and that was done around the same time that I did Mansquito with them as well. So I did a crazy shark movie.
Yeah, Sharkman. Somewhere.
Yeah, they put it out as Sharkman on video, like Mosquito Man.
Yeah.
They put. I have the
They were
DVD
really
here.
sexy. They didn't want women, right? It's just Sharkman. Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Mosquito Man, you know what, Ray? I give you credit. Mosquito Man was a treat. It was a very enjoyable sci-fi movie, and from while it was playing and there was people watching, there was a lot of feedback, a lot of people saying this movie is god awful. But I have to disagree with them because I think that it was a very well made movie, especially for a sci-fi channel. It takes all of your horror and sci-fi, like your classic horror and sci-fi elements, and it mixes it with modern gore. It just really worked for me watching it. So I went in with no expectations of seeing Mosquito Man. I really wanted to watch it because you had a big part of it, and I was impressed. It was a fine movie.
Well, you know what? I think if I had a chance to do it over again, I would have made it funnier. It wasn't funny enough because the title implies one thing, and I think that the movie was too serious. It took itself too seriously. The tone. It could have been funnier.
You should have had him hiding, and while they're looking for him, they're like, "I don't know where he is," and then you find out that the whole time he's hiding in a barrel of stagnant water. Like that's what it should have been. That should have been his bat cave.
And the guy's name is Ray. Which kept happening, and every time that I dealt with a different producer, they thought they'd be cute and name one of the characters Ray. So like the first 10 films that we did, they kept naming characters Ray, and I had to tell them to knock it off. Because there's at least 4 other movies that I did where there's a character in it named after me, and I had to tell them to cut it out. For Dead and Deader, I got a credit as a Jersey Zombie. So that's on my IMDb page, folks. If you wanna go check that out and hold my filmography against me, but.
All right. Well, speaking about Rays, we're gonna wrap this up, go into the Razor's Burn. But is there anything anyone would like to add on Jaws discussion before we move on to the Razor's Burn?
It's the near perfect horror film.
I love part 3.
We didn't really talk much about part 3.
Dennis Quaid. Dennis Quaid works at C Lab. Yes, it does have shit. It was the victim of bad 3D technology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. Shitty film stock.
Jason
really
part 3, Amityville part 3. They did pretty good with the technology, but Jaws Part 3 did not. And I actually watched the Anaglyph version last night and into today, and yeah. It's a great idea, it just kind of missed the mark because it's a saltwater park, the shark can get in, it did. There's a huge aquarium where people are inside underwater and the shark tries breaking in and the aquarium floods. So you get this whole fucking, what's the big ship underwater with Charlton Heston?
Poseidon
Adventure, yes. I kind of got a vibe from that when everything starts rushing in with water and everybody starts panicking. I kind of got that vibe from that, but I hold that movie near and dear to my heart because Dennis Quaid did a very good job as the third Mike Brody.
It's not a bad concept. It's just that the visuals are just so piss poor that it bounces you out of the movie.
Yep. And it's easily noticeable even on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Oh, I would have to imagine it looks worse on Blu-ray.
So it's very grainy. But they did upscale it to true 3D, where you actually have to have a 3D TV, and it's like one of the things you can change. And apparently it looks better, but I'm not rich enough to have a 3D TV.
I don't even know what do they still. I mean, I know that was a hot thing a few years ago, but
I don't think they make them.
I mean, I remember the talk of launching 3D cable networks and stuff like that, and none of it ever materialized.
Yeah, I don't think there's any of those available, those TVs. So
Yeah, you missed it. You missed it. It came and went.
so
But that's my last bit on the Jaws franchise. I just had to throw that in there.
All right, awesome.
All right.
So we're gonna get into the Razor's Burn. Basically, the Razor's Burn is some questions we ask each other here at the Syndicate, and you can join in. And those watching on YouTube, you can comment below. Those watching on Facebook, of course, you can comment below as well. So this is all Jaws related questions. So please join us, and we'll read your answers out loud. So let's get into it. I believe, Jared, we had a question from you.
Razor's Burn.
Yeah. My question basically was, who portrayed Mike Brody the best and why? Mike Brody was played by four actors. I don't have their names offhand right now. So I mean, if you've seen all the movies, feel free to answer. If not, you can pass.
Well, I think we know that Brian and myself are passing on this question. So
Yeah.
So that really gives me
You know,
a lot of options.
you go ahead, Razor. You go first.
Yeah, that's fine.
I guess it's going to have to go to Dennis Quaid. Although the fella that played him in Jaws: The Revenge, you know, he did a decent job with what he was handed, with the material he was given. He did a fine job. But the Dennis Quaid film could have been a much better film. It's a bigger movie than number 4 as far as production goes, as far as dollars on the screen. But that shouldn't factor into it. But I would hand it to Dennis Quaid. It was a better role. It was a better part.
Cool. Baron, what do you say?
Okay. Let me first state the reason I'm discounting 1 and 2. I mean, the first one's played by a kid, so there's really no factor there. And besides that, he has the opening line that's really stupid. He says he got cut by a vampire. Vampires don't cut; they suck the blood. So he gets that from playing on the swing set. Number 2, he's in the film part way, and then he gets kind of removed from the film, so he's not really there. Coming down to the last 2 with Dennis Quaid in part 3 and Lance Guest in part 4.
That's it.
That's it. Lance Guest.
It's a tough toss there. I'd probably go with the third one. In the fourth, again, the character gets lost in there. He's a marine biologist, and I don't know, and then he's got an electronics expert next to him that knows everything else. And
hey, Mom. Hey, Mom.
Yeah, so they spend the money on the beer and everything and not on the project, which is good enough. But, yeah, Dennis Quaid's character, I think, that one was a good, thing. I mean, at least he's trying to make a patch to get the people out, and he understands about he explains, because you're not setting off a bunch of explosions down there. There's a lot of acrylic. He explains why you can't do something. So
yeah,
I kind of like I can say, third Brody there, I guess, in the timeline.
Well, that's a good answer. And for me, like based off of my previous comment, I do like that movie a lot. And Dennis Quaid is also my answer because he was very analytical, because he was one of the guys that helped run the sea park. So he took everything into account as a reason to take care of the shark, not just go fucking kill it. You had survivors underwater in an aquarium that were possibly going to flood if they did try to go in and do any explosions. So, I mean.
Right. Now, just to note, didn't pick, the other brother in the entire series is just, he's a dick. I mean, he plays no factor whatsoever. Whatever he does, he's a complete screw up at it. So, no factor for the second one. The main one is Michael Brody there. That one, I think he's the key, the main.
That is interesting, though. Both brothers are played by 4 different actors in the movies.
Yeah.
Well, they had the good sense to stop at number 2 and not do any others. So,
all right.
Yeah. That's it for me. Back to Brian. Next question.
All right. I think we only had 2 questions. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe this one is a FMK question.
oh
So-
no! I have a question then before we get to FMK.
Okay.
I actually I was inspired to come up with a question while talking about Jaws 3. So I have one, and forgive me, Brian, because it literally just came to me as we were talking. So I jotted it down. I posed the question to you, Syndicate. Should Jaws 3 be re-edited with new CGI footage, kind of like what Lucas did with the Star Wars films, with the original trilogy, or maybe what was accomplished with the original Star Trek the Motion Picture, where they took the film and they cleaned it and they fixed it? What do you think Jaws 3 should be reimagined with new CGI footage? Baron, what do you think?
I don't think it's going to help the film. There's still scenes where there are problems in the actual film. They exist. Again, like I noted, when the shark is under the water and he breaks into the command and control center, it just stops there. There's no footage of the shark moving forward or anything else. It just stops. I don't know what CGI could do to fix that problem. And the sharks, I know, CGI is really good and we can do a lot of cool things with it. But that shark, so many times it's shown that it just, lumbers along. It doesn't look like a shark. It almost got like sad eyes to itself, asking somebody to go, please, just kill me right now. I know I'm not real on the screen, but just kill me. It's got these eyes that it just looks like I look like shit right now. I'm so out of shape. I need a gym membership. I need to get myself back into condition here. I've just been, eating really garbage food. I visited the Jersey coast. I eat all kinds of shit there. Look at me. I don't look good at all. I mean, that's what this shark looks like. And I mean,
but that's the whole point then. The whole point is should the money be spent to replace that footage with CG footage like what Lucas did with the original Star Wars trilogy?
I don't think so. I don't know if you could. I don't know.
Completely replaced whole sequences,
But then, really, at that point, isn't it just maybe worth it to redo the entire film?
Hey now.
I mean, just saying, how much would you have to replace? And if you want to be cost benefit with it, how much do you have to replace of the film to make it worth?
I mean, even the submarine shots suck in that movie.
I know. I tell you,
terrible.
If you watch,
so you would have to do a lot of work.
Right.
It would be a lot of work.
And again, the submarine shots, if you watch the film carefully enough, you will see that part of the submarine actually disappears into the footage. It's just not
right
there. So, especially if you're watching from the command center and as it turns and it has the side view, and as it's making the turn, the front glass bottom portion, people, if you go and watch this, actually vanishes. It just disappears. And the question becomes down, how much cost of benefit is it to redo that film for what it did at the box office and with the fan base? Is it worth it? I don't know. I don't think so.
Would you like to see it, though?
I'd be curious to see it, yes. But, curious is always a word. Everybody's always curious about anything. But would I care to watch it again? No. Because when I saw the original, what I have in the press books, I have different images. I have a different thought about the film from what I have now. Anybody can say, hey, would you be interested in this? Sure. Anybody can say that. But I can only go with what I know here and now and what I've seen of the film. Yes, I like the film. It has a nice feel to it. It's kind of happy and everything else. I just wish the shark would have eaten a lot more people. he doesn't do really well. He doesn't get a good body count out of this movie. You think
He
about
took
it.
a nice chunk out of Leah Thompson's leg, though.
Yeah.
Again, that's an injury, but he doesn't get enough kills. I mean, it's not a lot. I mean, he goes for that little deck pier out there in the water. Everybody crashes through, but how many people really die in that scene? Do we see them start chomping on anything? Not really. So you don't have to
Actually,
worry.
I should change myself because the shark in Jaws 3 was a mama.
Yeah.
Because they caught the baby shark in the
Right.
SeaWorld, and mama came back for it.
Right. Well, what about you, Jared? Do you
But-
think would you like to see your beloved Jaws 3 reimagined?
I think there could be some
edited?
scenes. I think there could be some scenes. I wouldn't necessarily go as far as the whole movie, but the scene that Barron was talking about where it breaks through the window at the end, where it's like literally the shark's just like doing this.
It really just stops. It doesn't really move.
It doesn't do anything. Like that scene could be reworked a little bit, I think. But yeah, I'd be interested to see it if they actually wanted to spend some money on it. I'd watch it.
Yeah, it all, obviously if there's a market for it, would you do it? For me, the movie, that's the movie's biggest Achilles heel are the visuals, and that's what seems to invoke giggles from the audience is every time you see the bad fake shark stuff.
Right. Now, throw the question back to you, Rezo. Do you think there should be a real part 5 to the franchise? Should the franchise be restarted, rebooted almost, but not like a complete reboot, just in part 5?
I don't know. A part 5. I don't know. I mean, what more do you? What's left of part 5? I'd hate to admit it, but I'd rather see a remake of the original than a part 5.
Why?
Yeah, I agree.
At least you could remake the original with with an interesting cast and less clunky effects. But to do a part 5, where do you take it? What do you do with it? Where do you?
I don't know.
Sharks, and
Look,
one of the
cruise ships
reasons
are going down, people are in the water. Cruise ship down and shark in the water.
I think one of the reasons we haven't seen a Jaws remake or reboot or whatever is because of things like Sharknado from the Asylum, that it's become almost a joke. It's become almost a cliche. You're going to get, it's inevitable that you're going to get compared to Sharknado. So and actually they have another one coming up. They have Sharknado 5 coming.
Yeah. August.
Yeah, they have so that could be one of the reasons that keeps the studios from wanting to do that. And believe me, it would be a silly reason like that. They make very, very, very silly decisions at studios. It's amazing, but I would love to see. Honestly, I would love to see Jaws 3 the visuals redone. I think the movie could be. I think the movie could be saved. It's just how do you marry, 2017 CGI technology with footage shot on shitty, 35 millimeter grainy film stock from the 80s, the early 80s. How do you marry the two so that it's not jarring?
That's where my thought is. It's so jarring, those two things. My mind can't put those and marry those two things together. I don't know.
That's the problem with Lucas's. That's the problem with the original Star Wars trilogy is that you're looking at footage that was shot in 1976, and then suddenly it cuts to this gorgeous 2004, 2005 CGI shot. And it is visually jarring to see it happen. I think it was done better. I don't know if anyone in Syndicate or anyone watching has ever seen Star Trek: The Motion Picture, the newer version of the film, where the movie was actually allowed to be completed and the visuals corrected, because that movie was released unfinished. I don't mean to go off on a tangent, but the original Star Trek film was unfinished when it was theatrically released, and they were actually given money and time and effort to fix the film and put it in the condition that they felt needed to be on its theatrical release. I recommend you see it if you haven't seen it. It's a better movie.
Okay.
But anyway, how about so Brian? You've never seen Jaws 3, correct?
I've never seen Jaws 3, but it sounds like it's a hot mess with the with being upscaled to today's standards, especially since TVs are HD and everything.
Yeah, that is an issue. Absolutely, it would look like I can't imagine what the Blu-ray must look like, because it looked almost like shit in the theater. You know, it practically looked like shit in the theater.
Your question was, what was your question again? What would you do to?
My question was, should Jaws 3 be, re-edited with new CGI footage to replace the shit that they accomplished back in the day?
Fuck yeah. We have Han shoot first. Of the first start, we'll have that happen. Second off, we're gonna have King Kong climb one of the skyscrapers while a big giant phantasm ball is ravaging through the city, burning down buildings. That's what we need to fucking add to Jaws 3. Make this shit epic.
There you go.
And then Leah Thompson, of course, sing her song from Howard the Duck.
Well, look, Brian.
Thank you for that confusing response, Brian.
Brian.
Morgan.
I happen to like the Howard the Duck song.
I love that song. Don't turn.
Never saw the movie.
It's
Never
a George
saw
Lucas
Howard
film.
the Duck.
George Lucas produced it.
Morgan,
care.
did you?
No, he directed it, right? He and produced it.
He didn't direct it.
He produced it. I don't know if he directed Howard the Duck.
I thought he directed it.
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
I thought there was only 2 movies that he directed. No, 3 movies that he directed, and that was Star Wars, Howard the Duck, and then Phantom Menace.
I don't recall, honestly. Another pre-CG movie, Howard the Duck. Phil Tippett. Phil Tippett did the visuals in that movie. But Morgan, did you buy the Jaws 3 DVD or Blu-ray or whatever you have there? Do you have it?
Jaws 3? No. I got Jaws and Jaws the Revenge because they were on. They were on.
Well, if you really want to, blow $5, go pick that puppy up. And no, I'm sorry, but it's like I said, it's not that bad a movie. It's just the visuals really kind of take you out of it. But that's it. That's all the Razor Burn questions I have.
He didn't direct Howard the Duck. My apologies. He the movies he directed was Star Wars, New Hope, Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones,
American Graffiti,
Revenge of the Sith, American Graffiti, of course, and then there was his breakthrough movie THX 1138.
Thank you, Razor.
Thank you, Ray.
Thank you. You're welcome. Oh, it's time for Fuck, Marry, Kill, isn't it?
Yes.
God, I hope so.
Well, I might as well just take it from here. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're still with us, if you're still watching, we pick the later hours within the broadcast to play some of our favorite nighttime games. That's right. Wake the kids, call the neighbors. It's time for Fuck, Marry, Kill. So here we go. We have a Jaws edition of Fuck, Marry, Kill tonight. And you all know the rules, of course. I'm going to give you the names of 3 individuals, and you must choose which you will fuck, which you will marry, and which one you will kill. Hence the title, Fuck, Marry, Kill. So for the gentlemen, here are your choices. Mrs. Brody herself, Lorraine Gary, Karen Young from Jaws 4, The Revenge, or Bess Armstrong from Jaws 3. Fuck, marry, or kill. Let's go with Brian. Even though Brian hasn't seen the films, he could possibly be familiar with the actresses. But Brian,
right. I'm gonna
Lorraine Gary, Karen Young.
I'm gonna switch up here.
Bess Armstrong.
I'm gonna switch it up here. I want to take Morgan's choices. because I'm feeling a little frisky here because the names at least I know the names on Morgan's questions than I do the actresses on the
lady from
male
number
side.
4 is kind of cute.
But if you want to read,
Brian, would you then? Brian, then why don't I hold on? Why don't you hold your thought?
Yeah, why don't we hold on?
Why don't you hold your thought, and I will ask you and Morgan together on your choices.
Okay.
And instead, we will go to Jared. Jared, Lorraine Gary, Karen Young, or Bess Armstrong. Fuck, marry, kill.
What was the last one?
Bess Armstrong. She was in number 3. Your favorite.
Bess Armstrong. I would have went with Leah Thompson, but okay. I would marry the gal from number 4. I would probably kill off Lorraine Gary, only because she's an overbearing mother that is a paranoid delusionist by the end of the franchise. And I'd have it, like you would say, 45 seconds of fun with the girl from number 3.
There you go. Fascinating analysis. Fascinating analysis. All right. To the Baron. Hair Baron. Hair Baron. Would you like the choices again, or are you good?
See here, if I understand this correctly, we got Mrs. Brody, it's number 1. Carrie Young, I think you said was 2.
Karen Young from Jaws 4, yes.
And then
Mike's wife.
Bess Armstrong from part 3.
Correct.
Okay. Now let's take these as they were at that time, because now some of them be really old, wrinkled, maybe even dead.
That's fine. You can set that parameter, Baron. And for those of you playing at home, you can set that parameter. So so go right ahead.
Please do so.
Yeah, because let's face it. I mean, some may be too brittle to play with, if you would. So you have to be careful there. So all right, let's do this in real simple order. I'm going to, I guess, fuck Carrie Young there. Why not? Sounds interesting. Don't really know much about her. Always put a bag over the head. I don't know. So there you go. Fuck her. I'm going to, of course, I guess, marry Bess Armstrong because, in the movie there, she's a doctor, so she got some cash. So, but why not marry her? And let's face it, Mrs. Brody, well, she's a bitch because if anybody knows the book, hey, folks, guess what? Mrs. Brody is actually having an affair with Hooper in the book. So she just needs to be fucking killed. That is a terrible fuck mother, leaving those kids at home to be, cut by vampire swing sets. You have this weird, I don't know, hook method of brushes and everything next to the kitchen sink. I mean, she's just a real bitch of a mother. Just needs to be fucking wiped off the face of the earth. She's just driving everybody nuts around her about her shark problems and everything else. So, yes, I kill Mrs. Brody flat out because in the book, she fucks Hooper because she really had an affair with Hooper's brother, and that entire thing is actually in the book. They go off to a motel and they begin fucking, and that's when the Chief Brody actually finds out about it. It's a real subplot that's really fucked up in the book, and it's just another reason to kill her. So there's my choices. How's that?
Fascinating. Now, for myself.
Oh, yes, please.
And, of course, I can only speak for myself. I would also kill Lorraine Gary, but my reasons are different. You see, if we kill her, then the possibility of the 4th film getting made, gets erased from the timeline. I know I'm altering history here. I'm stepping on the butterfly in the past, and
there's always the sun to go after.
Altering the future, but I would kill Lorraine Gary just in hopes that number 4 wouldn't get made. Then I think I would marry Karen Young, and then I would sexually disappoint Bess Armstrong.
Well, ride on the back of an orca. Gotcha.
Yeah. All right. Now, those are my sordid thoughts. To the ladies, and that's you too, Brian.
Brian will
To
be
the ladies, I put the question of fuck, marry, kill. Forgive me, but don't hate the player, hate the game. For Morgan and Brian, your choices are Dennis Quaid from Jaws 3, Richard Dreyfuss from the original film, or Mario Van Peebles from Jaws: The Revenge. Brian or Morgan?
Hey,
fuck, marry,
man.
kill. Let's go to Morgan.
What? No, I have to look these up. Okay.
She doesn't know what Mario Van Peebles
Oh, you
looks
have
like.
to.
That's why.
She has to eyeball. She has to eyeball each of the. Is that what's going on there, Morgan? You got to get a good look.
Yes.
It may help.
Wait, so what was the third option?
Mario Van Peebles,
Part 4.
Part 4. The
Jordan,
one that
help
you
me
hold
out.
it. The one that you hold in your hand.
What was he? He was in
Okay.
the last Highlander, wasn't he? You guys Highlander fans?
Yes, he was. That movie was so bad. He was in
Oh.
Final Dimension. That was the Highlander Final Dimension. He wasn't in Endgame. Endgame was at least a decent movie, but it would never be as bad as Highlander 2: The Quickening. Oh my god. That fucking
Well,
movie.
I'm sure Morgan is eager to tell us who she is willing to fuck, marry,
Her
or kill.
eyebrows are rolling.
I'm sure she will never ever tell us who she is eager about fucking marrying or killing, but let's get into this.
Hey, she's probably once quit.
Well,
Here we go.
during many of these FMKs, I'm not very opinionated about them because I don't really care one way or the other. But for at least for two of the people, I end up flipping a coin between the last two people to see if I'm going to kill them or what's going to happen to them. But and the people that I'm going to flip the coin for are Mario Van Peebles and Richard Dreyfuss. They're flipping a coin for them, and I guess I'm gonna marry Dennis Quaid because he's the only one I really know, and I like a handful of his movies. So
you're
Inner Space,
marrying
very
Dennis
cool.
Quaid.
yep.
Okay, so flip that coin because I think
Hey.
we're all anxious to hear.
I don't have a coin.
Just
That's a
keep
metaphor.
What About Bob and Mr. Holland's
Typical
Opus in the back of your
millennial.
mind.
Just broke as shit. You got plenty of ramen noodle, I'm sure, but you don't got a friggin' coin.
I mean, I have a coin, but not with me.
Oh, nice.
Look
That's
at dog.
just as helpful.
You can pick for me.
Oh,
That's
that's
well.
dangerous for us all to do.
That is
Well,
dangerous.
do you
then
want
it's
me
Richard
to-
Dreyfuss for you, dear. That's who you're gonna wrap those meat hooks around.
You're gonna shtup,
So I'm gonna
as they
kill.
say. You're gonna shtup them.
And you're gonna kill Mario Van Peebles.
Okay, there we go. There we have it.
Because let's face it, in these kinds of movies, they always kill the black guy. So
Oh, true.
Well,
Oh,
depending on the fourth, you got two
It's a
versions
drag.
of how he dies. Sometimes he dies in one version they show, and the
Yes,
other one.
he survives in another.
So
how funny.
I've seen a couple endings of that film.
yeah, they keep changing it around.
And so that then brings us to Brian, Harambe, and right.
Who would you
Please,
shtup?
Brian.
Who would you
All
shtup?
right. So
Please,
I
Brian, fuck, Mario, kill Dennis Quaid, Richard Dreyfuss, or Mario Van Peebles.
all right. So I already know who I'm gonna marry. It's gonna be Richard Dreyfuss.
Ooh.
Just so I can hear him scream the words "Bob, Bob," and then collect his life insurance after he's gone.
And your parents wanted you to marry a nice Jewish boy. So
exactly.
There you go.
Moyle. And then I guess I'm gonna have to bang Dennis Quaid, not to be confused with David Keith, not to be confused with Keith David.
That
That's
means
his
our husbands are
his full name. If anyone ever asks what his full name is, his name is Dennis Quaid, not to be confused with David Keith, not to be confused with Keith David.
Brian, that means that our husbands are going to cheat on us with each other. I mean, with us. Wait, what? You know what I mean?
What?
Not
Huh?
not until I collect his pension and life insurance. So can't do anything with that guy yet. He's got to die first. You can have him all you want. You can dig him out of the grave. Well, Baron will probably help you dig him out of the grave. But then you can do whatever you want with him.
Dig him out.
He probably
and
has
then
lots of utensils.
I would have to kill Marion Van Peebles. It's not a race thing. It's because he didn't make
what
a good
bullshit.
he didn't make a good movie after New Jack City. That's the only reason why I'm going to kill him. He just made New Jack City, played with my heart, and then decided to make this movie about being hunted in the woods. Not to be confused with the Ice-T movie, Surviving the Game. I don't know what this Mario Van Peebles movie was, but it was about him being hunted. I think the movie was called Hunters.
You called him a Schwarzer before. I heard you. So don't play that.
So yeah, so I would kill Mario Van Peebles. Yeah, I would have to kill him just for not making a good movie after New Jack City. I would have to marry the Jew, Richard Dreyfuss, because he's going to leave me his life insurance, and then I'm going to have to bang David Keith.
Fascinating.
All
David
because
Keith.
of
Even though he wasn't on the list, you're going to bang David Keith. Thank you, Brian.
Well, his name is Dennis Quaid, not to be confused with David Keith.
Once again, a confusing answer from Brian and Wright.
You're welcome.
That wraps up another installment of Fuck, Marry, or Kill. Back to you, Brian.
Okay, thank God. We're going to move on to convention news. Morgan has some convention news for the horror fans who are out there who are still watching this show. Here's what's going on in the convention world right now. Morgan, take it away.
Indeed. This weekend, there are 2 conventions happening, and the first is Virginia Haunt Fest, which really isn't a horror convention per se. It's more of a haunt convention. I'm pretty sure for like people who put on haunt events and whatever. So if you do that stuff,
that's cool.
That out, and there's going to be a makeup war and haunt war and a monster ball. So
there's going to also be a HearstCon associated with that one, I think. So,
oh, how cool.
Yep.
So this is like all the paraphernalia that you can buy to, do your house up as a haunted house, but like some of it's like major and serious, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's both for the haunted attractions and also for the people who will decorate their houses for Halloween or like me year round. It's a great way to keep people.
But like every level is there, like from simple decorations to really high tech stuff. Is that what this is?
Some stuff there. I've been to some of them. There's like $100,000 worth of just one item of facades, and electronics, and everything else. So it's there's classes and things on it. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Morgan. Sorry.
Yeah, well, no, I'm sorry. I interrupted. Where is that again?
Virginia. And so the events that they will be doing on Friday are, meet and greet, go around, meet everybody, all your fellow haunters, and then a ghost tour, and then karaoke. And then on Saturday, they're doing some vendor stuff and lunch and trivia and coffin races. And then the makeup wars, haunt wars, and monster ball happen.
Yep.
It sounds like fun.
Yep.
Where in Virginia?
You know what? Let me get back to this.
Richmond area? Arlington?
I can't find where it says. I don't see anywhere. Oh, wait. Okay. Natural Bridge, Virginia.
Natural Bridge, Virginia.
Yep.
You
That
heard it,
sounds like a
kids.
Civil War battle site.
There you go. You heard them, kids. Get your ass out there. Go to the HauntCon.
That's cool.
It sounds like fun. That's something I would love.
Yep. Sounds pretty cool. And then for more of an actual horror convention is Days of the Dead in Indianapolis is happening this weekend. And if you go, you can or a razor there because he's going to that. And besides him, you can also see Linda Blair, Matthew Lillard, Kane Hodder,
Cool.
and the Dawn of the Dead cast there, plus many more people. Yeah, that's in Indianapolis.
And Razor's company is Guerrilla Comics, kids. So if you plan on going to this convention in Indianapolis, make sure you go check out Guerrilla Comics and our fearless leader, the chairman of the board, Razor.
I think
Yes.
actually he's just going as a horror fan to this one though.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
He's not affiliated with
well,
the
check out Guerrilla Comics anyway.
throw everything that Razor just sent out the window, except for check them out, but not at the convention on Facebook.
There you go.
There you go.
All right. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for attending this show, enjoying the show, watching the show, participating in the show, being about the show. This is our Jaws episode. My name is Brian Enright. You can follow me on Facebook at Brian Enright or on Twitter at The Horror Chew. Up next, we have Baron Craze.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for participating in the show and watching and enjoying. You can stalk me on Twitter under Baron_Craze, or of course, continue the stalking of me on Facebook under Baron Craze, or the Baron's Crypt, which is going to be airing on Friday night at 6:30.
All right. Thank you very much, Baron. Up next, we have Jared Letourneau.
You guys can follow me on Facebook at Jared Turno and at Twitter at zombie_survivor. Good night, folks.
All right. Thank you very much, Jared. Up next, we have Morgan Jewell. Morgan.
You can find me on Twitter at Morgan_Jewel_S.
All right. And last but not least, Sci-Fi's very own Uncle Rayzilla.
Well, Brian, as you know, on Tuesday nights, you can find me teaching geriatric pole dancing down at St. Mickey's Knights of Columbus here in Lodi, New Jersey. And remember, kids, if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can follow me at RayzillaNJ. Back to you, Brian.
All right. Thank you very much, Uncle Rayzilla. Everyone have a good night. Stay safe and beware of the ocean. Watch out for balls. I mean, Jaws.
We'll be back the day after.